Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is off today. A big ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court today. The justices ruled not to restrict access to the widely used abortion medication mifepristone. This was the court's first abortion decision since justices overturned the federal right to an abortion 2 years ago. Skylar Henry is at the Supreme Court today with the latest.
The abortion drug mifepristone, used in nearly 2/3 of all U.S. abortions last year, will stay available to patients up to 10 weeks pregnant without having an in-person doctor visit. The 9 justices were unanimous, finding the abortion opponents who brought the case lacked the legal standing to sue the FDA.
It doesn't have anything to do with whether or not abortion is a protected liberty under the Constitution. It has everything to do with these doctors, this medical group, whether or not they could walk into the courthouse doors and say, I was injured enough to be able to move forward with my suit.
President Biden in Italy for the G7 summit praised the decision, but signaled abortion access will be a top issue in November, saying in a statement, it does not change the fact that the right for a woman to get the treatment she needs is imperiled, if not impossible, in many states. Today's ruling allows mail-order pharmacies to continue shipping mifepristone nationwide, but just last month, Louisiana designated the drug a dangerous controlled substance. 14 states are enforcing bans on all stages of abortion, making access to mifepristone difficult.
The data are very, very clear that mifepristone is extremely safe, extremely effective. Over 100 peer-reviewed journal publications have shown this over and over again.
Anti-abortion activists were outside the Supreme Court Thursday, vowing to fight on.
They're not saying that abortion pills are safe, they just said the case didn't have standing. So we'll be back with another case with better standing next time. 3 states, Idaho, Kansas, and Missouri, are working to return the issue to the courts, with plaintiffs directly impacted. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Washington Senator Patty Murray is praising the ruling, saying American women can breathe a temporary sigh of relief. But in a statement, she goes on to say, quote, Americans need to understand that the nationwide threat to medication abortion has not gone away. Far from it. If Donald Trump and his anti-abortion allies return to power, they will do everything they can to rip away access to mifepristone and ban abortion nationwide, unquote. Well, just hours after that landmark ruling on mifepristone, Senate Republicans blocked legislation that would protect access to IVF. It came after a historic ruling in Alabama that deemed frozen embryos as children, which meant couples would sue for the wrongful death of a minor. Alabama has since passed additional legislation to clarify access. Democrats are expected to revisit that measure at a later time. And in our effort to bring you more to every story, we are tracking multiple reproductive rights stories across Idaho and Washington tonight. Just this past Monday, Governor Jay Inslee issued a new directive requiring all hospitals in the state to provide emergency abortion services. This comes ahead of a 2-year mark of when the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. UW research shows a 50% increase in out-of-state patients seeking abortion care in Washington since that decision. And just last week, an Idaho doctor filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court against Idaho's strict abortion bans. The lawsuit claims both of Idaho's abortion bans are unconstitutional and can cause significant harm. It states that the abortion bans increase the likelihood pregnant women in Idaho will die from preventable causes. It also argues the bans are impacting healthcare providers' willingness to provide any reproductive care that could be mistaken for an abortion, including treatment for miscarriage. The lawsuit wants the court to declare both laws unconstitutional and unenforceable.